Good morning, everybody. Starting on time today. We've got a really good show for you. We're going to talk about one of the largest data breaches that has ever occurred, is happening right now as we speak. We're going to talk about Trump and the Republicans' attack on women and women's rights. They've taken a new tack, and it's very dangerous and very effective. We're going to talk about Gaza and Israel and what's going on now, and sum up what's happening there now. So let's get to it. Last week's show, we had first of all, let me apologize. We had some real technical difficulties in last week, so it was beyond our control. We had some storms here out in rural Texas, which means that the power went out. We lost our 5G connection, and they have really struggled to actually get that back up. So we're actually running at half speed right now, and there's nothing I can do about it. I don't control the infrastructure. People keep electing Republicans, and Republicans just don't invest in infrastructure. So what I'm going to try to do is I am going to try not to move very much, because I've got a very good camera, and I've got the resolution on it turned way down so that we don't, it's not trying to transmit nearly as much data. But when I move, the amount of data it tries to send just spikes. And so I'm going to try to hold really still and make this as smooth as possible. There may be some pinging and tinging in the audio. Please stick with me. This is a good show, very important. What we're going to talk about today. We're going to start with expanding with a little bit what we talked about in our last show about misinformation. I've got a really great example for you of where the rubber meets the road, and we're talking about one of the largest data breaches that has ever occurred is unfolding right now in real time, and it all ties in with this misinformation on the right that we've been talking about. It's really complex. I've been reading and absorbing data for days to try to come up with a clear, easy to follow dot to dot to dot to dot understanding of this. So stick with me here. It's going to start with a little bit of a left turn. You remember this lady, and I use the term lady loosely. This is Tara Reid. Back during the last election, she made a lot of allegations about Joe Biden that turned out to be total crap. She claimed things happened because Donald Trump was in trouble for all of his grab him by the, all that stuff was going on. So Russia came up with a duplicate narrative for Joe Biden, saying that he assaulted people and this, that, and the other. Tara Reid was the person they pushed with that story. She made claims about Joe Biden that just turned out to be completely false. It was proven by the fact that when and where she said things happened, she mentioned specific events that she thought Joe Biden had attended, that he had sexually assaulted her and things like that. Turns out he wasn't even at the event. They've got his calendar. They actually have video and images of him at another event that was happening at the exact same time. Completely debunked all of this. Then it starts to come out that she's a shyster, a con woman. She has been screwing people for years. Ran up vet bills on one couple that let her stay at their ranch took her horse to the vet and billed them for it. Um, and just screwed people over and over and over and over again. Sold this sob story that turned out to not be true to each of these couples. And they would allow her to stay rent free when she's supposed to be paying rent. She would fall behind on the rent, sell them this sob story, and they would say, oh, well, of course, you can just stay here. Screwed people out of tens of thousands of dollars. Started to get a little bit hot legally for her here because of all of her crimes. So she defected to Russia. She went back to Daddy Vladdy, who was pimping her in the first place. The misinformation that she was putting out was coming out of the Russians. We've seen that over and over and over again. The Republicans are more than happy to call Russian spies up to testify. But yeah, she defected to Russia. She moved to Russia. Well, she's got a gig in Russia. Y'all may be familiar with RT, or Russia Today. That's a news outlet that's owned by the Russian government, owned and run by the Russian government. If you take a look at RT, it's always anti-Biden, pro-Republican. Uh-oh, who's this? Yeah, Tara Reid has a new gig, man. She's working with RT and their sister outlet, Sputnik. But yeah, I thought that was just a fascinating left side note to the actual story today. When I went to pull up their websites, I was like, uh-oh, there's Tara. Tara got a job pushing misinformation on Russia's propaganda sites. And where does that fall in? Well, the misinformation we were talking about, how do MAGA people end up so screwed up? Well, it's not always as nefarious as you think it is. The way they get in is by utilizing and abusing a very complex system. This is a great story. Kudos to Wired for doing the journalism on this. They've got a great story up now. I'm not one of those people that tell you, oh, only pay attention to me, please, only come here. I'm the only person you should ever. No, I find good people that do good journalism and I direct you to them. Wired is one of them. A digital account with Wired is dirt cheap. They don't pay me. They don't anything. I just use the hell out of them. You people bought me. I keep telling you, you keep the lights on around here. You people bought me an all access Condé Nast passport so that I could access all of these journalists all the time. Wired is a really good source. I recommend it to you. Enough of that. What they're talking about is programmatic advertising. See, advertising has changed, folks. It has. When you think of advertising, what do you think of? Mad Men, stuff like that. Oh, and by the way, hit the thumbs up button. Take the time to hit the thumbs up button. And if you aren't subscribed, subscribe. I'm going to explain to you how that works here in a little bit. This is real-time rubber meets the road, how those systems are abused by the right. Trust me, you're going to want to do it. By the end of this story, you'll understand why. So, programmatic advertising. What is that? When you think about advertising, you think about ad agencies, you think about Mad Men, you think about somebody pitches to a corporation, hey, we've got this great ad for your product and we've got access to these magazines and we'll go ahead and broker everything for you and put this great ad campaign together for you, yada 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 yada. Well, that's a dinosaur. That's old news. It doesn't work that way anymore. AI and algorithms have taken over everything. So you hear me say all the time, hit the thumbs up button. It helps me with the algorithm. You're about to understand what that means. Because it is a huge problem with misinformation and how it's used and how it's abused. Before we get into the details of programmatic advertising, this is what I did, folks. I sat there and I absorbed everything about this entire system so that I could break it down into easy talking points for you to get. Let me give you an example of why it's a problem and how misinformation flows. You know, I mentioned RT and their sister agency, Sputnik. This is Russian propaganda. Uh-oh, there's Tara Reid again. Uh-oh, if Biden is reelected, we're looking at World War III. Tara Reid, the global political military expert she is on Sputnik also, working for the Russians. And if you look at these headlines, they're all anti-Biden, anti-Democrat, pro-Republican, all of their talking points, everything in a pro-Ukraine, pro-invasion of Ukraine, anti-Ukraine, yada, yada, yada. Who pays for this? Of course, the Russian government does. But besides Vladimir Putin, who do you think the largest funder of RT is? Who pumps more revenue into RT than anybody else besides the Russian government? I love to play this guessing game with you because it sets you up to have your mind blown. You're never going to guess it. I know you're never going to guess it. And kudos to Wired for finding this. Check out the chat. Check out the guesses. Murdoch, the Saudis. No, you're never going to guess it. Let me just throw it out there. The number one funder of RT besides Vladimir Putin is Warren Buffett. Yeah, Warren Buffett. Now, when I say that, what you envision in your mind is that Warren Buffett is cutting checks to Sputnik. He's not. He's not. See, the reason that Warren Buffett is the largest funder outside of Putin of RT is they own an insurance company. And that insurance company advertises. Geico, government employees insurance company, is the largest revenue stream for Sputnik, the Russian disinformation outlet. And if that doesn't blow your mind, this will. Geico doesn't know and doesn't have control over it. This isn't something that Warren Buffett or Geico is voluntarily doing. You've seen the ads that run here. There's going to be an ad break when you go and watch this after the live stream. And it's going to be Donald Trump asking you for money. Donald Trump has no clue that he's paying me ad revenue. He has no clue and no control over it. Why? For the same reason Geico doesn't know that they are the largest funder of Russian disinformation. Government employees insurance company in 2023 was the largest revenue stream for Sputnik. Let me say that again. And they had no clue. Why? Programmatic advertising. Programmatic advertising. There are entire advertising firms that sell modern advertising. It's no longer Mad Men. You've got companies like WebFX, Hot Specs Media, Roast, Believe Advertising, Fitcher, Apsca. These are all companies you never heard of because they're brand freaking new. And they're not on Madison Avenue. Remark, Sinsters, Binary. These are all companies that specialize in programmatic advertising. And the way that works is, and it's very complex, so I'm going to break this down into very simplistic terms. Man, I hope your coffee's as good as mine. A programmatic advertising firm is bifurcated. It's cut in half. There are two sides to the house. On one side, you have the people selling the advertising. They go to companies, they tell people, oh, hey, you want to reach people, we can reach people. This is who we have. Have you ever heard the old expression that if something is free, you're not the customer, you're the product? Yeah. Put a pin in that. Any of you have any of these? This is my Ace Rewards card, my Brickshire's card. That's a little local grocery store. How about a Kroger's card or a rewards program with Trader Joe's or anything like that? Any of y'all own anything like that? Well, in that fine print that nobody reads, they collect your data. They do. You ever wonder why, you'll be having a conversation in the presence of your phone, and then all of a sudden, you're talking about, oh man, mom has really become incontinent. We're gonna have to get her some Depends, and then all of a sudden you'll get ads for Depends that'll show up on your phone. That's not magic, folks. That's this system at work. When you go to the grocery store, they track what you buy. They track what you search on Google. Everybody was freaking out about those massive complexes that Google was building. What is it? What are they? Why are they building such huge data storage? To store you and your information. Well, it's not nefarious, folks. It's really not. There's a lot of people that talk about this stuff, and they talk about data breach, like the data breach we're going to talk about. They're going to talk, oh, they stole your data. Well, a data point can be, I go to the grocery store, I buy Coke Zero. That's the thing I'm addicted to. When somebody goes to one of these programmatic advertising firms, what that firm offers is access to that data. And let me give you a hyperbole on this. I like cruises. Do you folks like cruises? I'm sure you do. Say you're a cruise company and you want to advertise. You go to a programmatic ad company because that's what everybody's doing now. Nobody goes to Madison Avenue anymore. But if you're selling a cruise, you're really not making your money on the room. It's all the extras that you sell on the cruise, the drink packages and, that different kinds of things. Well, who do you want to market to? These programmatic ad companies have access to your purchasing data and your search data. That's what they do. They buy that data, those data points. And they know that you like to go buy Bud Light. So they sell on that side of the house. They sell to, say, Carnival Cruise Lines. Hey, we're going to take your ad and we're going to put it in front of somebody that buys a lot of beer. And we're going to push your drink package. That's why your ads now are very curtailed to what you do. That's why you're shocked when you're like, oh man, my phone's listening to me. Yeah, it is. It really is. They're really tracking you. They really are. And those data points are worth a lot of money. Because these ad agencies, they don't have a lot of people. Most of it's run by AI. This isn't, again, nefarious. It's not. They just figured out if they could track what you like. And I'll give you another personal example. We were thinking about buying our granddaughter a guitar. We were going to, for Christmas. We were thinking about buying her a real guitar because she mentioned that she'd like to learn how to play guitar with Papa. Okay. So I went and I did some searches. I like Sweetwater. Went and did some searches on Sweetwater for a good guitar, intro level guitar, but a real guitar, not a toy. And then I also bought some equipment. I am deluged with ads from Sweetwater. You'll see the news articles I pull up to show you will still have ads for Sweetwater on them. Well, that's just a blank ad space. That's what these companies sell. They curtail specific ads for different companies to put them in touch with people that really want to buy their stuff. So when I say it's not nefarious, I don't mean it's nefarious. I mean that literally. You buy this stuff already. They're in touch with the company that sells it to you. Hey, here's an ad. Here's a discount. Here's a coupon. That's good for you. That's good for you. On the other end of it is the part that nobody really knows about, the other side of the house. That is the brokerage of the information. And this is where it gets dangerous. Google doesn't do all of your data management themselves. They don't. They contract with other companies. It's a lot of servers. It's a lot of information to manage. And the other side of the company that provides the product, you, to the people that are selling the advertising, is out there buying your data. And they're buying ad spaces. So when I go to AP or something like that, I'll pull up another one later and you'll see an ad will pop up. Somewhere in the news article that I show you, there'll be an ad. It'll be curtailed to what I like and what I do. But that space is sold on an exchange, just like the stock exchange. So they have made this as efficient and humanless as possible. Those spaces are also from places like RT, where they sell misinformation. And they're bifurcated, folks. They're split. These houses are split. The guy that's selling the ads, when you go to buy, they give you a menu and you click the stuff that you think is important to you. The age of the customer you want to reach, the impression. Each one of those ads put before you is an impression, and the company pays 20 cents to put that ad in front of you. You list what's important to you. I'm Carnival Cruise. I want people that drink. I want people that gamble. And you list all the things that are important to you for your ad to hit. That's what they sell on to the companies. That's how Geico ends up funding RT. Because on the other side of the house, where they run the exchanges, which are filled with both data and the actual ad pocket that these ads are slipped into, that's all automated. Just like trading stocks is automated now. These two things are not dancing together. But if you know how to abuse this system and what to steal, you can really do a lot of damage. You can really put out a lot of misinformation. And you can fund your misinformation, just like RT is funded by Warren Buffett. When Warren Buffett has no control and no clue. Because I assure you, folks, Donald Trump, the ads you see for Donald Trump, yeah, he didn't seek me out. I am not the show that he wants to put his ads on. And he's got no control over it. He's going to pay me anyways. And I have no control over it because the company that sells those ads to Google, they're the brokerage firm. But it can be very nefarious in some ways. You follow me? In and of itself, that's just getting you a product. That's just a company reaching the people that it wants to reach. It's really not a bad thing. But if you know how to take advantage and what to steal, it can be. Because right now we have a company called Snowflake that is, the information is trickling out. Nobody likes to admit this is happening. And again, kudos to Wired. This is out of their story. Snowflake is a company that manages data. That's what they do. They sell data. They sell data points. And they've got customers like Ticketmaster, Advance Auto Parts, Santander Bank. I've got a list of the breaches that we found out. Ticketmaster has had 560 million data points stolen from Snowflake. Advance Auto Parts has had 380 million data points stolen from Snowflake. And again, when I say data point, I'm talking about that's your card. You gave it to them. And the way it was stolen was they didn't hack Snowflake. They didn't. Snowflake security was good. The way they got the data is they hacked Advance Auto Parts. They hacked employees specifically of Advanced Auto Parts and Ticketmaster. And they got their logins and they went to Snowflake and they downloaded the data. The data that Advanced Auto Parts, Ticketmaster, there's a Santander Bank, you're probably unfamiliar with it. It's a Spanish bank that has moved into online banking. It's pretty popular. Santander, they got 30 million data points off of them. Lending Tree, that was another big one. Lending Tree, they took about 90 million data points, and their subsidiary Quote Wizard, and they got it with and to give you an idea how shitty these people are, the name of the data mining software that they used is called Rape Flake. They were targeting Snowflake. And so they named their data mining, hacking malware Rape Flake. And again, this isn't on Snowflake. Their security was good. It was their customers. It was their suppliers whose security sucked. And as a result, what do you think a bunch of hackers want with those data points? You know, we talked about what an advertising agency wants with it. I mean, it's again, not nefarious at all. What does a Russian hacking firm want with your data? And why are they selling it on there was a website the FBI seized called Breach Forums that went down. They immediately reopened under another server. They were prepared to be attacked by the FBI. They're still in business. They're still selling the data today, and we are still finding out, because we find out on the other end of it. None of these companies are aware this is happening, because for Snowflake, these were all legitimate transfers of data. For Advance Auto Parts, they had no idea that they were requesting the data because it was their employee that got hacked. For Ticketmaster, it was their employee that got hacked, and they had no idea. So until we find breach forums, and I love you people so much. I do. I love you people. How informed in these things you really are. Yeah, breach forums was being attacked by another hacking group that wanted the data that they stole. how informed you folks are. What would they want with that data? To target your uncle. Yeah. They have these data points build psychological profiles. You know, if a guy's buying way too damn much alcohol, he's probably an alcoholic. And with that, you can build your messaging. And they go to these misinformation sites that are really nasty misinformation sites, and they sell them these profiles. There is a reason that this misinformation is like cocaine to MAGA. There's a reason it's curtailed and shaped in the perfect shape to fit into the hole in their frickin' hearts. Their bigotry, their specific kind of bigotry, because they have their psychological profiles. And just as efficient as it is when I log in to go search something, that this advertising finds me. Because think about it, when you go in to buy something online or you go to read something online, you're announcing your presence. You are. And these ad campaigns are designed to not just be a one-time deal. They rotate ads in and out. So yeah, I'm still, even though it was Christmas that I bought something from Sweetwater, it's 6 months later and I'm still getting ads from Sweetwater. But not every ad is from Sweetwater. That would get annoying. That would turn them off. They actually have systems built to make this information as effective as possible. And now the hackers have that information. They have it all. What do you think they're doing with it? Folks, it's election time. They're taking that data, they're taking your profile, and they're using your vulnerabilities against you. They're going to come up with stories that are the most discouraging for you. If you have a gay child, they know. If you talked about it online, they know. So they're going to run stories about something horrible somebody said 30 years ago to turn you off. And when I say they, this is the part that's really going to blow your mind. It's not even a human. These are AI programs running AI programs. Folks, when I tell you we outnumber them, we massively outnumber them. We do. But they utilize this system to amplify themselves. They create false accounts on social media. They go out, they buy these data points from hackers, and it formulates the posts automatically for these social media bots to put out. And most of it doesn't even involve a human. It's a computer program running a computer program. So yeah, by all means, understand what we're dealing with. Understand, let's land this plane. Understand that your crazy uncle, there ain't a lot of hope for him. They've got his number. They've got his information. They know who and what he is. They have spent a decade or more in Russia building psychological profiles. They know what to tell him that pushes his button. There's a reason that these campaigns, these misinformation campaigns are global. Listen to our folks we've got a huge European audience here. They talk about the exact same things. Up in Scandinavia, Scandinavia and Finland and Sweden and Norway and Northern Europe, Denmark, all of a sudden, borders. They're talking about borders and brown people. They imported brown people from Africa and the Middle East to create the exact same narrative that they created on the southern border. And how are they delivering that narrative? Programmatic advertising. They just turned it over to the AI. Said, find people that are vulnerable, that are bigots at heart, and tell them the shit that scares them. Make their fears reality. And now we have, as I was talking about in the last show, I wanted to just expand so you can see how dangerous this is. We talked about the hundreds and hundreds of websites that one traitor maggot, a former sheriff's deputy, guy by the name of Dugan, defects to Russia, and now he's running hundreds of fake news sites that mimic real news sites that are utilizing the data collected in programmatic advertising, and it is highly curtailed. It's highly specified. It reaches in and tickles what everybody on the right wants to hear. Asborn Newsom, really fun. The MAGAs believe that big data need to chip you through vaccines. Yeah, when you can go get all they need from your internet search history. Yeah, and your purchases and your conversations, all of it. ET, less than 22 weeks until the general election. Make sure your voter registration deadlines. Make sure when your early voting starts and stops. Amen. Make sure and go vote. Amen, brother. That's where we're going to end this. Thank you, ET. That's a great way to end this. You see what is happening with programmatic advertising. You see how this has become completely automated. You see how it's become very targeted, very detailed. Do not waste your time with MAGA. You cannot compete with that drug. You can't. They know. You see a man, 75-year-old grandma goes to Walmart every damn week and does her shopping, no problem, completely unarmed, is completely fine. But you also see the crazy bastard that walks in with guns strapped to himself because he can't make it through a day unarmed. They know his psychological profile. They know what pushes his buttons. And they're delivering it to him on a plate. You can't reach him. You can't reach him. Good point, Asborn. Good point. And thank you for the support, because you're the one that keeps, like I said, you're the one that buys the all access Condé Nast membership for me so that I can see these articles and I can put them together for you in this format. In recent attack to my Twitter account, IRGC sent threatening emails to my university staff and uncle as well. I had to change my account. Yeah, that's the nefarious end of it. That's the nefarious end of it. This data, yeah, they know. They've got access to LexisNexis, folks. They know who your relatives are. And when I say they, again, it's AI. It's AI. It is. But moving on. Abortion. Women's health care. Women's rights. Folks, there was a little town here It's where I buy my bare root trees. When I've got a little hobby orchard, a little town called Chandler, Texas. And why is that important? Well, stick with me. They passed a law, or tried to pass a law and failed, I should say, that made it a crime, murder. If you were going to go somewhere else to get an abortion and you passed through their town, they were going to charge you with murder. Yeah, that didn't work so well. That hasn't worked so well. But they're trying. They're trying. But Trump and his orbit, they have found an attack that actually is effective. And they can do it pretty damn quietly. And it is way more effective than the stupid shit that they've been trying around abortion. And it's your insurance company. It's your insurance company. See, the insurance companies have spent decades making sure that the federal government doesn't regulate them. Your state has an insurance commission. Your state has an insurance commission, and that insurance commission is run politically by whoever politically runs your state. So yeah, in states like, I don't know, Texas, that have had a shit Republican government for the last quarter century, they figured out, oh yeah, we control the insurance company. And if we want to control women and prevent them from being able to say, go somewhere where it's legal to get the health care that they need, all we have to do is shut off their insurance. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're using these state insurance commissions to cut off your insurance if you try to travel out of state for an abortion. And it's legal. The way the laws are set up now, it's legal. They can do it very quietly. All they have to do is hold a meeting and send out some memos, and the insurance companies have to comply. And you won't know until you need it, because no insurance company is advertising, you know what, your out-of-state health care just took a hit. They're not telling you that. They're telling you just the opposite. Oh, we're a great insurance company. We're networked. If you get sick in another state or on vacation, we got you covered. So no one is in a hurry to tell you that the Republicans have figured this out. Yeah. Out of one side of their mouth, they're trying to tell you we don't want a national ban. And on the other side, they're effectively creating a national ban for everybody that lives in a red state, because who can afford $30,000 out of pocket? No. How many women do you know that are in medical crises can afford to come out of pocket? And you've seen here in the state of Texas, they're more than willing to let women suffer. They're more than willing to let women die, because you've got to be on the edge of death here in the state of Texas before they will give you the health care you need. You can have a dead fetus inside you, women, and they will send you back out to the parking lot and tell you, yeah, you're not in crisis. Come back later. You literally have to be dying. And now they have access to these people who are insane that believe this kind of stuff. And they're feeling pretty confident about it because, you know, Trump, who lied about it, first he bragged about it, He says, oh, yeah, I'm the one that got it done. I got a Roe v. Wade overturned. Then the political strategists got a hold of him and said, stop saying that. They're killing us with it. Stop saying that. Quit telling people the truth because people don't like it. So he started lying. He started saying, oh, no, I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Don't blame me for that stuff. And now he's flipped again. Here he is meeting with a group. He's having a town hall meeting with a group that calls abortion child sacrifice. They call contraception child sacrifice. Yeah. And they figured out that they can control your insurance company. And by controlling your insurance company, they control you. Because your average person, let's face it, folks, we're not the rich folks. We aren't. We're not the billionaires. We don't miss commutes by flying in on helicopters. You know, we're not Elon Musk. We don't go down and buy a town in South Texas so that you can walk to your launch pad. That's not us. We can't come out of our pocket for this kind of stuff. So they took away your health care. Yeah. They made it so that if your wife is dying, if your wife has a fetus inside her that has no brain, she can't just terminate that pregnancy early for the best outcomes for her and her so that you can try to have another child later. No, she's got to go through the whole shooting match, man. And if the baby dies, it dies. And so, you know, if she gets to 35 weeks with a baby with no brain in its head and it dies in her womb, they're not going to take it out. Not until she's septic and risks her life, not to mention her ability to reproduce altogether. That's who these people are, folks. That's who they are. And they are willing, more than willing, to hurt women in any way, shape, or form to control them. So yeah, again, to land this plane, there's no common ground with these people. There's no ground that we both stand on. You have to just defeat them. You have to just defeat them. And we can. Because if you go from issue to issue to issue to issue, the entire country stands with us and what we believe in. It's you folks that have to make it happen. Get my message to other people. Like I told you, if you tell these programmatic advertisers that, hey, me and my online profile, we like this. We like this. That's what you're doing, folks. I'm not asking you to serve me. Midas Touch has a website. Have you visited it? Have you made that part of your profile? If you visit it regularly, it will become part of your profile. Do it, people. Do it. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, and tell the entire world, hey, I like this, so that the AI, who doesn't give a crap about anybody's politics, all they care about is numbers, sees the numbers. Matthew Prevo, I appreciate that. Great comment, brother. Great comment. We should all have the same health care Congress has. Amen, brother. Amen. That is the truth. Of all things I've lost, it's my mind I miss most. Thanks for helping us keep and exercise our brains. Hey, Pete, that's my job, man. That's what I do. This is why all the support that you just handed me goes into me doing this, man. It really does. So that you can see it and you can have your hands on it and you can understand the system, because they know. They are a very small minority, but they understand the system. RT knows. They know how this works. That's how they dupe someone like Warren Buffett into funding them. They know how the exchange works. I'm explaining to you, this is how it works. This is how it works. So you know. And you also know just how deep, how gone these right-wingers are. They're being fed continuously curtailed information that appeals to the worst in their humanity, but understands them like no one else. You know, it's always the joke, when I die, I delete my browser history. Well, the people that know your browser history know you better than the people around you. Think about it, folks. The people that know your browser history, that sell that information, and it's in the fine print of everything you agree to, yeah, they know you better than anybody. And now we have AI programs running other computer programs to do it without emotion, without a sense of what happens when they do this. There's no conscience. It's just numbers. And again, leave it to right wingers to take something that's good. I mean, it's freaking great to think about that. The system has gotten, before it was hit or miss, man. You had to remember Sunday newspapers? You remember Sunday newspapers? How many of you got Sunday newspapers because it came with a stack of ads that thick with coupons in them so that you could go through, weed through it, and find the things that you wanted and go shopping? Now the ads find you. That's a good thing. Thanks for the support, Wendy. I appreciate you. Martha. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we live forever in the algorithm. Hooray. But Martha, yeah, you remember the coupons. Now the coupons find you. That's a good thing. That's freaking great. This piece of shit in front of me that I'm running this ad on or this show on is actually doing something for me. It's paying attention to my needs and wants, and it's finding me coupons all on its own. Great. Leave it to the right wingers to make it a bad thing. Because, folks, we don't have this on the left. We don't. I'm telling you, I'm politically connected, folks. I am telling you. We don't have this on the left. There is no one out there utilizing programmatic advertising to drive our points home. Because most people, let's face it, most people on our side consider that to be manipulative, right? No, the right has no problem with it. They've got no problem with it. And again, it's one of those situations, man. Break out the fact bat. It's one of those situations where we go high shit. It drives me up the wall. It drives me up the wall. We're constantly playing catch up. We're constantly figuring this shit out late to the game. There is no left wing alternative to the Russian, Chinese, Iranian, Republican. You've seen them all married together, put together left wing version of utilizing programmatic advertising to get our point across. So that's what I'm telling you, folks. You have to. You've seen what they're doing with abortion and the misinformation, how they're really hurting people with it. You have to go to places like Midas Touch's webpage. You have to hit the thumbs up button here. You know, we had as many as 2,000 people in here. We're just under 1,900 now. Do we have everybody that's coming in and out hit the thumbs up button? Because that tells the AI that controls the algorithm that, hey, people like this. People with your profiles like this. Folks, I also had for you another story, but we're already an hour deep. So we're going to do that on Sunday. We're going to bump it. It's the latest on Gaza and the latest on what's going on in Israel. I told you what was going to happen in Gaza. When things broke out again, I told you what Israel was going to do. I smacked down all the misinformation that was out there I could. Well, we're entering a new phase. We are. And I'm about to tell you again exactly what's going to happen. But I'm going to give you the inside window as to how I know, what it is, and where we're going. So join me Sunday, and we will talk about it, but we are out of time. We're going to try to start limiting these to an hour so that we don't run over and we don't end up losing viewership due to the longer shows. So, yeah, we're done for the day. I love you, folks. Thank you for being here. I hope you can make good use of the information. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the support. You have no idea how much information you buy me. You have no idea how much information you buy me so that I can digest it and present it to you in a way that's easy to understand and you can see the impact of it. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for being part of the community. And please enjoy some Texas cities at night.